Hello travelers, Boardman21 here, and today got an update for you on the multiplayer progress update, and this is for the month of November, and we got an update from Stan. So Stan says, hello all and welcome to the November multiplayer update. And yes, it hasn't gone unnoticed that they missed the October one. They've been very busy. They have some reasons, and they're going to give them to us on why and how multiplayer is going. So let's go ahead and dig into it. There's a small little clip here of them doing some party play against Admiral Harton. Pretty cool. I do want to start off by reading this quote from Judd because it's very important that you guys understand this, that this is the mindset of EHG. As many people have asked, and many people say, multiplayer now, why isn't multiplayer here? Why aren't they even working on multiplayer? The truth is they are, and they're getting it right. So let's go ahead and read this real quick. I cannot overstate how important it is to EHG that multiplayer is executed correctly. A bad initial multiplayer experience can harm the game for all players and jeopardize the success and reputation of the studio long term. We have seen this with other games, much more than holding on to it until it's ready. We want multiplayer to be enjoyable when we first release it without confusion or game-breaking bugs, even in early access. Several games with many more resources have failed to stick the landing on multiplayer, so we're making sure to learn everything we can from those mistakes and not to repeat them. While we still may make some mistakes, we'll be able to react and iterate on them quickly. Very important quote. Basically, the ready when ready quote summarized out of that is that they are not going to release it until they feel confident that it is ready to go and it is going to be good. So let's go ahead and get into some of the reasons on why we haven't gotten an update for a while, and let's start with through further testing of their scalability of multiplayer services over the last few months, and in light of other recent major game launches, we recognize some core areas of our current multiplayer experience that they would have to readdress. We want these to be a stable gameplay experience before we roll them out in a multiplayer alpha test. We realize that some of these services we were relying on are things we should ideally build on our own selves if we want to be able to reduce live problems and as much as possible, as well as fix things quickly whenever we need to. Basically, they want to do things in-house. So they're kind of only doing outsourcing to things that they absolutely have to, and trying to bring the things that they currently are outsourcing and don't have to bring in more people to their own team to be able to do those things and get better at them. So they will faster and be more reliable in the fact that they can respond to any sort of issues they have when it goes online. And then to put that as clear as possible, we've experienced some setbacks and delays because we made the choice to improve a number of our services, and we believe it's the right decision for the long-term health of multiplayer. And big news, the intended community testing program for multiplayer has been moved to the first quarter of 2022, meaning that they won't be testing it in CT until the first quarter, so it's likely not coming out until, at least a patch probably after that. The result here is that we have chosen to migrate a few of our own features, where some of the other features we've now built ourselves. This has meant our previously intended community testing phase of multiplayer has been delayed until we're confident in an alpha version of a number of these changes. Let me break it down visually real quick with a rundown. And if you look here, what they have complete for multiplayer is party, friends, and gameplay. What's in progress is characters, build, release, and users. And then the to-do list is chat, login, game server, and matchmaking. So let's go ahead and dig into some of those things. Party, multiplayer party system has been working well, and we've been using it for about 8 months. We needed to migrate it, however, as the party systems relies on the account system, which they are moving. We have recently just completed this, and they are testing. And as you can see, they're playing in a party right here, and it seems to be functioning just fine. For friends, very similar to the party system, it works online, the same as the one you have now, but we also have to migrate it. This has been completed and is in testing, and for gameplay, everything is looking great here, and nothing is impacted for online gameplay. We have a lot of work to go to optimizing it, and we'll have to make some changes to how the game saves data since we are moving the character saving system. We are still implementing the monolith in an online format, but we regularly play the rest of Last Epoch together online, and as you can see here, there's even more footage of them playing together. And then for characters, the services we're relying on for character saves was fairly reliable at the scale that they were testing it at. However, as the scale continued to grow with playtests, it became clear this wouldn't be sufficient in a large influx of players. Migrating this to a more robust service has been a priority, and we've been able to make gains here quickly by moving to an industrial standard platform. And they're not going to tell us what that is, but just know that it is supposedly much better now. Deployment, and it's still in the works. This is our ability to deploy patches quickly to a global audience. Nobody wants to wait 7 days for a patch. We have actually been really happy with how fast we can deploy the game online. We were at least as quick as other similar games. However, because we migrated our server hosting solutions, we have to modify a lot of scripts and tools we use to deploy the game, both internally and externally. This work is ongoing, but is something we have a huge amount of experience with at this point, and we are confident it will be quick by the time we move to CT testing. And again, some more footage of them going through in a party. And then we have users and game access. These are things that they are in need of work on. This is the first of our main set of changes. We consider this of extreme importance as the integrity of the online experience will be critical to having a competitive ladder, as well as ensuring we can maintain a great community by ensuring bad actors cannot access the game again. We are actively moving towards migrating our account system to work with an industrial standard provider. Work here is still ongoing, and we still want this before releasing out multiplayer alpha to testers. And some more footage. For chat, another area where we experienced some issues, even in single-player game over the course of the year, there was more than one occasion in which we had to disable our chat. We recognized it would not scale in a way that would make us happy. We also had a number of issues this year with chat moderation, which our current chat system has not made easy to deal with. This is now actively in development using a third-party chat provider that should safely support us, scaling from our current numbers up to launch. We expect this to be in when we also have our new user system for community testing. And then login, the second of our main set of changes. An inability to log in is one of the worst things that can happen for us when we go live. We know we need this critical piece of infrastructure needs to keep up with however many people decide to play at once. We're feeling good that our new provider is up to the job and should easily scale at the numbers we anticipate. We're keeping an eye on the need for login queue, but have no immediate plans to implement one at the moment. We expect this to be in when we also have our new user system for community testing. And some more footage. And then the game server matchmaking. This is the last of the main set of changes. Adapting a general purpose matchmaker to our scene allocation needs proved to be quite challenging. We need to be able to quickly allocate game servers to handle the wide array of scene players will be in, while keeping our server load manageable. We have successfully moved to a new platform, are regularly testing with it, and no longer have to rely on a complex matchmaker. We are really happy with our changes here, but it took a few months to do. And then some just final thoughts. One thing I'd like to touch on a bit is our regular release of single-player version of the game. Previously, we were in a much smaller team, so it was often the case that we could divide our attention between continuing to develop, test, release, and fix our single-player game. Our 3-month content process is really critical for us to continue to fund the ongoing development of Last Epoch, as well as make changes for the current players. So this had a lot of impact on our ability to remain consistent. It is not common to build out a multiplayer version of the game while consistently releasing a single-player version. But considering that the development of Last Epoch has been financed by early access, it's a challenge we've had to rise up to. With the growth of our team, it takes time to onboard new developers into our processes. We are starting to cross the threshold with new developers that have joined the team over the last year and adding even more developers to resolve this conflict. Over the course of the next period of time, we are looking to merge our single-player and multiplayer processes so we can put the entirety of our team on the multiplayer release of Last Epoch. And a little bit more gameplay footage here. You can see Carve looking out at his other members down there battling away. I hope this information has helped to clear the air about all the work we're putting into the development of Last Epoch multiplayer to ensure that when it releases, we will do it right. And that's really all that they had to say. Basically, it's still in the works. They are definitely working very hard on it, and it's going to be here as soon as it can be, but it is going to be done right. Alright, travelers, that's it for me. What did you find the most intriguing about this news update? Let me know in the comments below, and as always, stay safe and have a good day.